All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. Now, we are getting close to the beginning of the New Year's Six as well as college football playoff, and I'm here to talk about that right now. Not the two college football semifinals, but the other New Year's Six games. I will be talking about the college football playoff tomorrow, but there's still a lot of good, interesting things to talk about with these four bowl games. And I'm going to talk about them right now. And first and foremost, this Friday at the Orange Bowl, you're going to have the sixth ranked Tennessee Volunteers taking on the seventh ranked Clemson Tigers, who are the champions of the Atlantic Coast Conference. And for Tennessee, they did not win the SEC this year, but they're still looking to cap off their first 11 win season since 2001. You think about the job that Josh Heupel has done in turning around this volunteer program, and he definitely wants to end the year on a positive note. But it's going to be a little tricky for Tennessee in this contest because no Hendon Hooker at quarterback, as of course he was lost for the year in the South Carolina game with an ACL injury. So it's going to be Joe Milton III. No Jalen Hyatt at wide receivers. Of course, the trend is continuing with players opting out and prepping for the NFL draft. On the flip side for Clemson, is this going to be a building moment for them heading into 2023? Because Clemson went 11 and are they're 11 and 2 this year. Excuse me. Could have very easily been 12 and 1 or 13 and 0, as they have to sit back and wonder what could have been as far as them possibly making the college football playoff. Now, of course, it's the Cade Klubnik show now at quarterback, as we've seen DJU transfer out of Clemson and he's headed to Oregon State. And you saw how different that this Clemson offense looked with Klubnik as opposed to DJU. You still got Will Shipley bringing it as far as being one of the top ball carriers in the ACC. And I think that Dabo Sweeney is going to lean on his veteran back in this one. Linebacker Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has been solid, but no Miles Murphy defensively for Clemson in this one, as just like Jalen Hyatt, he is opting out. 13 team interceptions for this Clemson defense throughout the season. Can they force Joe Milton into making some mistakes in this contest? We got to wait and see. Now, Clemson, when they take the field, they're going to be a 4.5 point favorite over Tennessee, and I think they cover that, as I'm going to take Clemson by the score of 37-27. Now, moving on to Saturday, it's the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, as you're going to have the fifth-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide out of the SEC clashing with the Big 12 champions, the K-State Wildcats. Now, the Crimson Tide comes into this game favored by 6.5 points over K-State. But the big question is going to be which Alabama team is going to show up. And I say that because the Tide went 10 and 2 during the regular season. Two heartbreaking losses are the only reason why Alabama is not in the college football playoff right now. And with that said, is there going to be a letdown by Alabama, or will they try to finish their season strong? A lot of guys could have opted out of this game and gotten ready for the NFL draft, but it looks like they're going to be ready to go. Bryce Young at quarterback, his final game at Alabama, as he's more than likely going to be the first overall pick in this spring's NFL draft. You look at Jameer Gibbs and Ja'Cory Brooks on this Crimson Tide offense, a lot of talent there. And then defensively, of course, this unit was very hyped up this year. They didn't always ball out at times, which is the reason why Alabama is not playing in the college football playoff. But you still look at the careers that the likes of Will Anderson and Henry Toho have had, and they definitely want to finish on a strong note. Now, for K-State, the Big 12 champs definitely have some momentum after they upset TCU in the conference championship game. Adrian Martinez, what is going to be his availability at quarterback? But we saw that Will Howard can get it done. The Horned Frogs are, pardon me, the Wildcats, excuse me. I got the college football playoff on my mind. Please forgive me. But the Wildcats of K-State definitely can run the ball, as they are a physical team. And Deuce Vaughn uh, will definitely need to have a big impact in this game if Kansas State is going to get the win in the Sugar Bowl. Linebacker Austin Moore and company can bring it. This is a K-State defense that has 28 team sacks on the season to go along with 16 picks. The tenor, I think, is going to be set in the first quarter because K-State definitely wants to come out and establish their running game. Alabama, and this is going to be the $1 million question, which Alabama team is going to show up? How motivated is Alabama going to be? We got to wait and see. Nick Saban has had a month or so to get his team prepped for this bowl game, and let's see how the Crimson Tide finish out their season. And when it's all said and done, I am going to take Alabama in the Sugar Bowl by the score of 37-24. Now, moving along to next Monday in the Cotton Bowl in Arlington, you're going to have the 16th ranked Tulane Green Wave, the champions of the American Athletic Conference, clashing with the 10th ranked USC Trojans out of the Pac 12. USC comes into this contest favored by 2 points. But I think this is going to be a doozy of a game right here because just like it is for Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, which USC team is going to show up? The men of Troy were steamrolling towards a bid in the college football playoff until they lost to Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. They still got a New Year's Six bid, but I want to see which SC team is going to show up. The Trojans, they're looking for their first bowl win since 2017. You have Caleb Williams at quarterback, the Heisman Trophy winner. He hurt that hamstring in the Pac 12 championship game. How is he going to look in this one? No Jordan Addison at wide receiver for the Trojans. You still got Austin Jones at running back. He's looking to finish his collegiate career, on a positive note. You got linebacker Shane Lee and, of course, Tui Poolotu defensively. But USC gives up yardage. One of the big things it takes away from what SC has done this season. And it's going to be interesting to see if this Trojans defense is up for the challenge. And I say that because they've got a Tulane team right here that is flying real high after winning their first conference title since 1998. Willie Fritz has done a tremendous job with this team. You look at the explosiveness that Tulane has offensively with running back Tyjai Spears, as he is a very physical runner, and he could have some holes in this USC defense to make them pay. Quarterback Michael Pratt, what is he going to be able to do? And then defensively for Tulane, they have two of the better linebackers in the American in Dorian Williams and Nick Anderson. Can they find a way to spy and go sideline to sideline with the playmaker that is Caleb Williams? Once again, USC is going to have to really dig down deep and find a way to beat Tulane. It's going to be a close game throughout, but I'm going to take SC to survive by the score of 38-34. Now, moving ahead to Monday, and of course, if the late great Keith Jackson were here, he would say the granddaddy of them all. And of course, when I say that, I'm talking about the Rose Bowl game in Pasadena, as you have the 11th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions out of the Big Ten Conference, taking on the 8th ranked Utes of Utah, the two-time champions of the Pac 12. The Utes come into this contest favored by 2.5 points. And this is a contest right here with two teams that want to finish this season on the right note. Now, for Penn State, it's their fourth New Year's Six Bowl under head football coach James Franklin, and it's their second trip to Pasadena and the Rose Bowl under him. No Parker Washington or Joey Porter Jr. for Penn State in this game as they're opting out. Sean Clifford at quarterback. He's been a guy that's won a lot of games at Penn State, and he's definitely looking to finish his career on a positive note. Correct me on that. I do believe he might be coming back for next year for 2023. I just got to double check that. Please forgive me for that. But you still got running backs Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, who definitely have to have an impact for Penn State if they're going to get the win on Monday. 36 team sacks by this Nittany Lions defense. And can they find a way to slow down Utah quarterback Cam Rising? We saw Cam Rising last year in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State, and he was having a field day against the Buckeyes until he got injured late in this contest, and it really reversed the fortunes of the Utes in this one. You got Dalton Kincaid at tight end, and he's a guy that if you sleep on him, he can definitely make an impact. So it's going to be very key for Penn State to try to slow down Cam Rising, because as Cam Rising goes, so do the fortunes of this Utah team. 38 team sacks along with 12 interceptions. Will this Utes defense be able to make Sean Clifford make some mistakes in this one? Kyle Whittingham nationally, I feel, does not get the credit that he deserves for being the good coach that he is. And he's going to have his Utah team prepared for this one. So is James Franklin, as both of these teams want to end the season on a positive note and try to build off of that for 2023. But when it's all said and done, I don't see Utah losing back-to-back Rose Bowl games. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to take the Utes on Monday in Pasadena by the score of 34-28. So, folks, those are my picks for the non-college football playoff New Year's Six bowl games. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.